Hello everyone, this is Alan Brooks, and welcome to an amazing new Mandela Effect video. The search for the truth continues.
The search for the truth continues.
I was watching Future's End, a Star Trek Voyager episode, and I noticed Captain Janeway playing with his toy. And I thought it was like Captain Picard with his crystal. I could be wrong. But what I noticed about this episode is that there are very amazing things that have to do with the Mandela Effect. I'll go through them one by one, okay? Now, this episode is called Future's End. And it's about the Voyager going back in time through a rift to Earth in 1996 from, the year 24th century or something. Now here's the Captain Picard crystal that's a Mandela effect. He never had that before, but now in like 70 or 80 episodes he's playing with this crystal toy. And I noticed when I was watching Future's End last night that Captain Janeway's playing with this little toy. It's from her tennis days or something. And I've never noticed that before, but maybe it was there. I'm not sure. Here's this little toy in her hand. And I think it could be something like that crystal, but, I'm not 1,000% sure. Now, here's the cast when they're going back in time to Los Angeles in 1996. What's really fascinating is there's several things about the Mandela effect in this particular show. There's a blue VW van, like Back to the Future, the blue VW van in that show. And here's Sarah Silverman. It was her first, I think it was her breakout performance. But here, notice they're driving away in a VW van that doesn't have the symbol on front. That's pretty wild. Why wouldn't it have the symbol unless they're saying, the future is out there, like something's happening to it? Like, here's the Back to the Future van, same color. And in the middle of that movie, the logo switched. Back to the Future, it switched from being solid to having, a split in the middle between the V and the W, which is a Mandela effect. Here's the blue van from this show. And then in the show, it's spray painted. It says the end of the future is here. So the end of the future is in this show, which, it's called Future's End. Which is, a lot of people think that CERN and the things they're doing could play with our future and has maybe even destroyed one of our universes at one time. But here is an old Earth, Australia. Definitely, it doesn't have the high little, like spikes that the Australia now has. The new Earth, like the one on the right, it's like the one on the left. So this is in the movie. This is a map on the wall, and Australia is low. It's low it's near underneath Madagascar, like the old Earth Australia that we all know and love. Here's the new Earth Australia. It's high. It's right next to this island above it, Papua New Guinea, which is right next to Mama New Guinea. Anyway, here is another map, the same map on the wall. Now notice Spain and the Mediterranean is far away. And now in today's New Earth reality, it's really close, okay? And here is New Earth America on a computer screen. And see, America's gotten bigger and Canada's really small, as I did in one of my videos. Here is the big Canada, the way it should be. Okay, this is from one of my videos on Canada. But here again is a picture from a small Apple computer that shows, once again, the South America being really way east. And then here is the big Canada, the way it should be. And here's another residual old Earth evidence, and again, the Mediterranean on this show, Future's End from Star Trek. You see how it's far away from Africa, Spain, and here is the way it is now. Spain is touching Africa pretty much. The Rock of Gibraltar is right there. Here again is the Spain old Earth evidence. Maybe I showed it one too many times. I'm sorry about that. But here is the map. You see how Australia is way down. It's down under the way it should be, under Madagascar. Spain is far away from Africa. And the top of Australia is not as big spiky as it is now today. And it's far away from the island Papua New Guinea. So again, the end of the future is here, is spray painted in this show. And it's called Future's End for a reason, because, they're doing experiments in time travel which can obliterate a whole century, they say in the show. And just like that. Now here's another, again, a full map. You can see how Australia is where it should be. It's down under. I wish we could see Italy a little better, don't you? Now here again is the new America, where America is far southeast America now. So it's just, the point is they're illustrating things in this particular series, in this show, about time travel and what it can do, like the Mandela effect. It's changed our geography. And there's a big map on the wall. Is that just a coincidence that they've got old Earth artifacts on this map? And, here's the guy, Ed Begley Jr. He goes back in time. Now, here's something that's really amazing. He has a time ship from the 29th century. Now, it looks almost exactly like the TR-3B, which is supposedly our joint effort with the aliens to build a time travel ship. They look almost exactly alike. Now, here is another picture coming up. You're going to see it looks just like the drawing that I just showed you. Look on the right. It looks just like the drawing in the show, which a lot of these sci-fi shows, they're releasing true information to get us prepared for what they're going to release on society, which is, they're going to bring out their one world government, we are the true gods, the aliens. Now here's another picture of the TR-3B, a time travel device craft, supposedly, that we actually have, and this is the one from the TV show, Future's End. So, they're doing stuff, they're releasing this information. Here's another picture of the TR-3B. Again, so isn't that amazing? They look just alike. So they're releasing this information, so they're telling us what they're doing. A lot of these shows, sci-fi shows, they have parallel universes. They go back in time and they change things for the future. That's what CERN is doing. It's opening up portals between parallel dimensions and perhaps even the universes where the enemy is, bad, evil spirits live. That's why there's devil faces many times in the matter stream of CERN. They look like demons. They look like gray aliens in the matter stream of CERN. There's gray matter, dark matter, which, if you don't handle that right, it could be the total end of our universe. They could destroy everything with the experiments they're doing there, which could be the reason why, CERN is the god of destruction and on the grounds of CERN. Why? It's because, with the experimentations they're doing, they could destroy our universe. They could destroy us, just like in the show Future's End. They could destroy the entire universe. That was the point of the show, that if they didn't fix it, that Ed Begley would destroy the entire universe we live in. Now, here is underground facilities where we do experiments with aliens to make chimeras, which are half aliens, half humans, or, they're in different mixtures, so they can have body shells to inhabit and come and take over our universe, which I believe is the ultimate plan, which is why CERN, they did Luciferian rites on the grounds of CERN, because they want to bring across the Antichrist, which is why CERN has 666 in the title and has the god Shiva on the grounds. It's a why would a scientific experiment have religious implications on it? Why would it have satanic ceremonies, have the Hindu god of Shiva or destruction, and be built on the grounds of Apollyon, which the Bible in Revelation 9 talks about? Apollyon is where an angel from hell opens up a doorway to hell and lets out a lot of hell onto our earth. It's just all the things are adding up. This is not a benign scientific experiment. They're playing with fire, and somebody is letting us know in these TV shows. Now, again, I'm not sure if this particular show with the little ball she's playing with is a Mandela effect. It could be. I know Picard's is with his crystal. I think what they're doing is, I'm going to start looking through all the shows with the crystal and see if there's clues in it. Like this show, there's other clues. We saw how there's the van from Back to the Future in this show. There's maps on the wall which show the different realities of old Earth geography. And so I wonder if in some of these other shows, if Captain Picard with this crystal, if there's other artifacts in those shows, and it's like a little signal saying, hey, here's the crystal, look for other clues in these particular shows. I know, like all these shows, they do have storylines about parallel universes where they go back in time and change things, which I believe could be happening now, which is why they're trying to warn us, why people are perhaps trying to give us signals on these different TV shows and movies, like Luke, if you build it, he will come. Luke, I am your father. Things like that, They've changed in our history for a reason. The Ford logo's changed, as we've seen in our history. And, somebody had a really great idea. I think it was Scare Performance, that the Ford logo changed is now Lord. And if somebody's there's two different sets of people. There's the freedom fighters, and there's the bad people trying to align things so they can bring across evil spirits into our dimension, and the good people are trying to warn us about what's happening. Anyway, this is Alan Brooks signing out. And before I go, if any of you are not Christians and you want to know Christ and live eternal life in heaven forever with me and Jesus, ask Him to save you today. He will. He's the true God. The end of the world is coming. And it has to do with 666. You've heard that. CERN has 666 in its title. The Islamic religion has 666 in it. The Bible said the Antichrist religion would be known by several things. It would cut off heads. It would have 666. It would want to invade Jerusalem and hate Christians. Islam has all of these. And it would, last of all, deny that Jesus is the Christ. Antichrist means you deny that God has a son. On the side of the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, the famous Muslim shrine, it says God has no son. Now, there's a lot of you Muslim people. You're good people. You're trying to serve God. I respect that. But, this was predicted 2,000 years ago that the Antichrist religion, the radical part of Islam, would want to do all these things, and it will. It will invade Israel. It'll invade the Middle East. It will hate Christians. It'll cut off heads. It'll hate Jews. It will want to take over the Middle East and form a caliphate. This is what was predicted 2,500 years ago. And it would be associated with 666. Islam has 6666 hadiths. And in the Bible where it talks about Revelation 13, 666 is the Antichrist religion. In the Greek, where it says 666, it looks 100% like in the name of Allah in the Arabic. A former terrorist said that while he'd Shobat. He saw that and his jaw dropped. So, God is giving you a clue. Get out of the false religion. A false religion would say you're going to have sex in heaven forever. A false religion would say bow down to a box in the desert 5 times a day. A true religion would say, God gave us His only Son, and if you believe in Him, you'll live forever in heaven. And how do I know that's true, Alan? Because, thousands of people have died, gone to heaven, and come back. Near-death experiences. They haven't seen a sex paradise. They've seen Jesus. And if you're a Buddhist, you're trying your best. I get that. So I would ask you to ask Jesus to make Him your Savior, because we're living at the end times when this last evil great religion is going to come, having to do with 666. This is Alan Brooks signing off. Thank you very much.